finding out or figuring out if you are in fact are in a toxic relationship in the process of looking at those red flags. And so I appreciate you, everybody that's going to be in here. Thank you for taps, the likes, the shares. Thank you for joining in. So as how you doing, Renee? Renee, so as part of this series, I'm dealing with, a lot of the different parts of our relationships and the importance of our relationships. Good evening. And so when you look at toxicity, I'm going to give you a real brief explanation of what that means. And then I'll get into more detail of, kind of what I want to talk about tonight. And I appreciate I appreciate everybody that's in here tonight. And thank you for showing up. Thank you for keeping the chat moving. Thank you for any gifts or anything that you give. And so when you look at toxicity describes something, whether it's a substance or a behavior, an environment that is harmful, corrosive, or severely detrimental to one's physical, mental, or emotional well-being. So that's the part that we have to ask ourselves. Is the relationship that I am detrimental to my physical, mental, or emotional well-being? If it's detrimental to my physical, emotional, or mental well-being, then that represents that it is a toxic relationship. But the toxicity comes in over a period of time because of the prolonged behavior that goes along. There's a prolonged process of being in that behavior, being in those actions, being in that type of a relationship for an extended period of time. That's where the toxicity comes in. Check this. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Oh, hold on. My camera went off on my other phone. Okay. Thank y'all for your patience. Okay, so before I got on here tonight, I was looking at a video, and the video kind of stimulated my mind to thinking. It kind of brought up an important topic, and the woman that was talking, she mentioned that if a question was asked you concerning your previous relationships, and basically she worded it like this. She said, how would you feel about if someone said that your past relationships were a glimpse of how much you love yourself? How would you feel if someone said that statement to you? And when she said that statement, I was a little like, it made me ponder some things. It made me look at myself and some of the decisions I made a little bit closer. Because sometimes, it's the easy thing to do is to blame other people because of our relationships, and you'll hear it. If you're dating, you're out here, you're meeting people, you're going to hear people, and every one of their stories is going to be based upon somebody else, what someone else did. Every guy they dated was like this. Every woman they dated was like that. And so those stories are painting a picture. This picture that's being painted is based upon some decisions that were made. I'm not pointing the finger at anybody saying that you're a bad person. I'm saying that we got to kind of look at, if that relationship or if the relationships haven't made us come to the place of looking at how we dealt, or how we figured out, or how we met these people, or how we interacted. Because part of this is, what were the things that we really address, and why did we do that? And so part of asking ourselves the question is, was that a good representation of us showing that we have love for ourselves? Because when you truly have love for yourself, there's certain things that you're not going to put up with disrespect. You're not going to put up with someone that's not going to and we just read the definition. You're not going to put up with toxicity and corrosive behavior that's severely detrimental, behavior that's, against one's physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Because if you're in a toxic relationship, that relationship is emotional and mental well-being. It's there, and it's hindering you from getting with a person in a stable enough way. I'm going to keep going. I'm not sure what's going on, but either way, can you see it, Renee? Thank you, Renee, if that's you. Okay, yes. YouTube just popped up something and they said there was some kind of buffering or something going on. But yeah, so if we're in a relationship and it's the type of thing that you're continually going through a process of, behavior that and based upon the environment that is harmful, something that's corrosive or severely detrimental, then that's showing us that this isn't something that's healthy for us. Because think about any kind of toxic waste or toxic thing, the toxicity that's around us. It represents that it's something that's harmful for us. And to me, I think that that's the level of severity or the level of seriousness to me that we have to put on relationships. This is why, and I'm gonna go over a real quick list of some of the things that you should look for as you're out here and you're getting in these relationships. Um, and some of this stuff should be self-explanatory. It's going to be self-explanatory because you've been around long enough and you've seen enough things and you know what's going on. And so this is about not repeating cycles, not repeating the same cycle, not doing the same thing over and over again. But if you're with a person, and so I'm gonna go through like 8 or 10 things, maybe 12 things real quick, briefly. Are you with a person that continually brings up the same thing over and over again to you? And it's something where they're constantly nitpicking your behavior, or they're constantly always looking for the worst. They never have a positive outlook or anything positive that they're saying, but everything is something negative where they're trying to belittle you or put you down verbally. Because you have to look at, why is this person that is a person that supposedly says that they love me and they're interested in me, but they're constantly moving the goalposts. They're constantly complaining about everything that's done. Because that constant complaining, what it's going to end up doing over a period of time is it's going to end up affecting you. It's going to end up affecting you on an emotional level. It's going to affect you on a mental level. We just read the definition. It's going to affect you. It's going to affect your mental, physically, spiritually, emotionally. So it's showing that it's something that is not beneficial. Second thing, do they disrespect you and blame you? If you're with a person that is disrespecting you and then blames you for what happened, I mean, that's showing you that you're with a person that is not safe. They're not a safe space. If something goes on and they're blaming you, instead of kind of looking at themselves and say, you know what, my bad, or I did this, then they're not a safe space. Part of being a safe space is the person that you're with. They should be able to say, you know what, I should not have done that. I was wrong. My bad. Third thing, do you put up with disrespect? And I talked about this before. Is that I was out one night and at a business meeting, and there was a man there that I knew that was a local business owner. Him and his wife were there, and everybody was kind of talking, and we were standing around. And this man, as he's standing there, his wife began to kind of like be flirtatious, not kind of, she was being flirtatious with this younger guy that was working there. And it was really, really disrespectful. And I felt uncomfortable, and she wasn't even my wife. And I'm thinking, okay, what is this? And so that and this is part of what I'm saying. When we put up with behavior like that, that's part of showing that you're in a toxic behavior, because it's disrespectful behavior. It's something that if the shoe's on the other foot, if someone was doing the same thing to him, then it would be a big deal. But because it was her, and because it's key and it's funny and it's this, that, and the other, and there's excuses made sometimes for certain people, and it's not funny. It's disrespectful, because there should be a line. There should be certain boundaries that should be drawn in the sand, so to speak, and we should be able to. In other words, we should know what we're going to allow and what we're not going to allow. And so the thing is, I mean, if you see that type of behavior, that's showing that person is disrespectful. And if they do that type of behavior in front of you, what are they going to do when you're not there? The sky's the limit, as they say. I mean, there's those endless possibilities of what they're going to do at that point. Okay, let me know, is this buffering, or is it still going? Is it going through, Renee? Is it buffering, or is it going to go through? Okay, well, either way, do they use if you're with a person and you've gotten to the point where you're intimate, is this individual using intimacy or sex as a weapon? Are they using it as a weapon? Because it shouldn't be a weapon, because it should be something that both parties should be able to enjoy. Because if you're both in tune with each other and you know what each other want and what each other's needs are, it should be something where both parties are being taken care of. It should not be something where somebody is withholding and doing different, because that allows confusion, and it allows That's part of the manipulation. That's part of manipulation. Sex can be used as manipulation. And so if that's in your relationship, it either it needs to be addressed or it needs to, because if it's not addressed, then it's going to end up becoming a bigger issue down the road. Because that's one of the big issues. People don't talk about it, or some may not talk about it a lot, but intimacy in a relationship is a big deal. Number 5, do they act like it's okay for them to do certain things? And I just mentioned that, but you can't do the same thing that they did. You know, can they be flirtatious with other people, but you better not be? You know, can they be on other people's social medias, liking posts and doing all this stuff, but you can't do it? And I'm saying that's the mindset more so than the behavior. I'm not saying that you should, but I'm saying, is that their mindset? Is that their thought process? Because if that's their thought process, then what it is, it's a toxic. This is what we're talking about. Those are flags. This is a toxic behavior. Because if it's not good enough, if it's good enough for them to do it, it should be good enough for you to do it. If you're in a relationship, a monogamous relationship, where both parties have agreed to certain things, they've agreed to respect each other, they've agreed to stand with each other and be in this thing together and work it out and figure it out. So that means that you're clean, because it's one thing if you're in a poly or some open relationship, but if you're in a committed relationship, which is an option, this is something that people don't. This is part of what I don't understand with people. If you don't want to be in a monogamous relationship, just don't be in a monogamous relationship. There's all kinds of things that people can do out here that don't want to be in a monogamous relationship. It's just making a decision and just go do it. I say it all the time. I got one of my sons. He's got basically 3 girlfriends. Y'all know, but this is my point. If you tell people, it's not so much of a big deal. A lot of the pain and the heartbreak and all of the PTSD and all of the nervous system issues, all that stuff is as a result of all of the deception. This person going out, doing all of the different acts and things that they did, coming back home, cooking dinner, or acting like they're going to work or going to the gym, but they're actually meeting someone else and they're having an affair and they're doing all these things. That's where a lot of the PTSD and all of the trauma comes in, because of all of the lies and all of the deception. It's all of the deception. That's where all of the damage. That's when someone has to go through the grieving process, and they got to figure out this whole grief thing. And I've been through there, so I know what grief feels like. And so, process of figuring out grief, your emotions are going to be all up and down, and all because you trusted, you opened yourself up, you gave of your heart to a person that did not deserve your heart. We have to be very careful where we invest and where we give our heart. Your heart should not be just given to any person that you meet. It should be given to people that have shown themselves to be trustworthy. Don't freely give, especially if you've gone through the process of being hurt before. Don't freely give something, especially because one of the things I was telling a good friend of mine on the phone the other night, I said, for any person that has the question of what is my purpose, I have the answer for you. Your purpose is always tied into a painful experience. When we go through painful experiences, what happens is that is a major test for most of us. That painful experience is going to either put us in a place where our hearts are going to be hardened, we're going to be bitter, we're going to be angry, we're going to be looking for revenge and all of those things and all of the things that go along with that. Or we're going to flip over to the other side. We're going to stay in a place where our heart is pliable, our heart is open, our heart is still loving. We're going to learn the lessons. We're going to learn why we were involved with that. What were the things that we needed to see? What are the things that we needed to grow from? If you go through the process and you grow and you learn and you figure this thing out, not kind of, but if you go through the process, and this is why healing is so important. If you go through the process and you heal, you put yourself in a place, you put yourself on punishment, so to speak. You disconnect from all of the things that were so close to you, that were around you, that are pulling you down, but you get yourself you stay connected into the thing that can get you to the next step, which would be your healing. If you do that, then what's going to happen is that you're going to start figuring out what is your purpose, because your purpose, again, will be directly connected into that pain. When you figure out the lessons in that pain, then what's going to happen is that's how you're going to have your story. Your pain story of pain is going to be able to be related to by so many other people. I told a friend of mine that same thing at the gym. A friend of mine named Carol. She had been married for a number of years, ended up getting a divorce. There was a painful experience. She never really went through the grieving process, didn't really realize that she should. I suggested to her, I said, yo, get my book, get the book. I said, and I'm not trying to just promote it just for promotion's sake. I said, get the book, read it. I said, because I talk about this stuff in detail. I talk about my story, but I also talk about the process of getting from where I was to where I needed to be. There's a comprehensive way of getting from where you are to that healing process, to the place of feeling better, to the place of knowing that you can change your life, that you don't have to stay in the condition that you're in. You don't have to, you don't. If you're in a relationship and everything is about them, that's a very toxic relationship. A relationship should be mano a mano, give and take, give and take. What it's something for you, something for me. Put that in the chat, give and take. Something, put that in the chat, give and take. It should be something for both parties. This is why I often say it should not be this whole mindset of happy wife, happy life. It should be happy spouse, happy life, happy each other, happy life, because it should be about both people, because it's two people that have joined together. It's not one person. So it shouldn't be about one person. It should be about two people that have joined themselves together. Okay. 7, do they shut down verbally? That's an important one. When you're having an important conversation, does this person, if they shut down, that represents that they lack the level of maturity that is needed to have an adult conversation. If they can't have an adult conversation and they're shutting down, nothing's going to get resolved. If nothing gets resolved, then what happens? It just keeps the confusion going. Nothing's getting resolved because it's just keeping the process going. And so when you're talking to them, if they shut down, that's showing you a lot. That's showing you a level of toxicity. But it's the toxicity ties right into manipulation. Manipulation, toxicity, they tie in. They're like two peas in a pod. Are you more confused? 8. Are you more confused after talking to them than when you started talking to them? If you bring up an issue, if you're having a conversation with them, are you more confused after talking to them than when you started talking to them? You're being manipulated. It's real simple. Do they threaten you with violence? If there's violence in a relationship, verbal violence, physical violence, emotional violence, any violence in a relationship is toxic. It is a major flag. There should not be violence in a relationship. There should not be women hitting men and men hitting women, or none of that stuff should be going on in a relationship. Those are red flags. That is not just because it's written about and people sing about it, and then I'll scratch your car and I'll do this and I'll key your car and I'll bust your tires and I'll do your windows. Just because that stuff is spoken and it's written and it's in songs and it's kind of laughed about, that stuff is not healthy. There's ways of dealing with situations and there's ways to not. If you want to have a healthy relationship, you want to try to stay away from people that do not know how to handle themselves when they are angry. That's why you have to see your person in an angry. You have to know how they act when they're angry, because they say you should see that person in all the 4 seasons. You should see them in different phases, because that's going to give you a glimpse of who they are. Who are they really? When someone is angry or they're irritated, that's going to show you who they are. So there shouldn't be any violence. Violence is toxic. Simple as that. It's toxic. Okay. Are they being unfaithful? If you're with a person that's being unfaithful, it's very, very, it's toxic. And unfaithfulness doesn't have to mean that they're actually having a full-blown affair. Unfaithfulness could be that they're on social media and they're in other people's chats and they're in other people's, DMs, and they're doing all these different things and they're sending messages and they're doing things which are inappropriate. They're doing things that they would not want you to do. And they're sneaking to do it, which shows you that they know what they're doing is inappropriate. Anybody anyone that does something and sneak, if you had to sneak to do it, that's showing in our minds. We know that, what, this probably ain't right. I shouldn't probably be doing this. So why are you doing it? Why do they do it? I don't know. Are they constantly accusing you of, this is a big one. Are they constantly accusing you of things that they know that you are not doing? Why are they doing that? Because they want to keep you on edge. They want to keep you in the place where you're always defending yourself. If you're always defending yourself, then that's going to keep you in a place where they're in control. You're always defending yourself. They're accusing you of cheating, and they know that you're not cheating. They're accusing you of just whatever, and they know that you're not. But if they can keep this is how you have to know what toxicity looks like. Do they speak life into you, or do they speak death into you? That's a question. The person that you're with, if they really love you, they're going to be speaking growth, life, health, blessings, goodness into you. They're going to lift you up. They're going to be there to encourage you. They're going to be there to say the things that you need to hear in the times when you needed to hear it the most, whether it's something tough or something that's not. Whether it's something that's fluffy or if it's something that's serious, they're going to tell you what you need to know because they love you. And we have when we truly care about people, we have to have difficult conversations. And part of having these difficult conversations is not saying it in a brutal or an aggressive or harsh way. You're going to say it in a loving way. But the bottom line is what is being said is to join and to build. It's not there or being said to tear down the person. If you're with a person that is verbally tearing you down, oh, you can't do nothing. And or they always, everything you say that you want to do, they're always saying, oh, you shouldn't do that. And why would you want to do that? And that's stupid. If they're saying, then that's showing you that you're in a toxic relationship. The thing with toxicity that I had to discover and I had to understand is that toxicity is a two-person activity. Yes, they're toxic, but as long as I'm staying in that relationship with them and I'm putting up with that, what does that say about me? This is why I'm sharing this, because some might not know. And if you don't know, then that's one thing. But once we learn about things and we get a deeper revelation or understanding, then that's when we can start changing the narrative. We can start changing the way that we're handling and getting in these relationships. We won't allow all this chaos and all of this nonsense to be a part of what we consider a relationship. We would have grown and gone through the process and got ourselves in a more of a healthier state, and we're going to connect and attract more healthier people because we're going to different places. We're not going to the same places. We don't have the same mindset. We're not on the same frequency. We've elevated ourselves, and so as a result, the people that you meet are going to be on an elevated, higher level, not arrogant, elevated, raising that frequency, raising our energy, raising your vibration. This is all part of the process. If you're in toxicity, that is a low state. That is a low energy frequency. It's not a high state. This is why I'm saying this is part of the process. I'm encouraging y'all to understand that you don't have to be in a toxic relationship. Yes, you probably love that. You probably love that person or think you love them, or yeah, you don't know if you could live without them, and that's part of how you know that it's toxic. Sometimes too is that there's this insatiable connection with the person, and a lot of times it's a toxic. It's a trauma. The bond is based upon trauma. The bond is based upon trauma. It's not based upon love. A trauma bond. Some trauma that you had, this person had a similar trauma, and that's how you two have bonded. Abandonment, some type of wounding, some abandonment wounding or whatever else. And I'm just using that as an example. So it's about understanding, is this a healthy relationship? Is this something that will grow? Because if it's toxic, it's gonna perpetually get worse. It's gonna get worse and worse and worse. Because when you initially meet them, yes, they'll be saying negative things about you, but it's gonna keep getting worse and worse and worse. And soon they'll probably be cussing you out and whatever. I'm just saying it can go from one degree to the next because toxicity just is going to keep growing. Um, do they make you think that you didn't just see what just happened? Are you in a relationship with a person that when you're having a conversation, you know what you just saw, you know what you just said, but by the time they're done talking, you're sitting there thinking, man, did I just see did I actually just see that? They're gaslighting you, and part of gaslighting is very toxic. It's a very manipulative behavior. It's the type of behavior where it's beyond lying. I tell people all the time, someone lying is one thing. Someone, thank y'all for the taps and the shares and the likes and follows and all that. Appreciate each and every one of you that's in here. If you have any questions, I'm gonna have some time, a few minutes, because I'm almost done here. Like I got one more, and then we'll take a little bit of time if y'all want you have to have some questions or something that you want to say. And I'll take questions. But do they make you think that what you just saw or what you just saw them do, that they didn't do? But you know that you just saw it. That's part of the manipulation and part of the deception. And so when you're with a highly manipulative, deceptive person, they lie skillfully because they've been lying for years. And they call that terminology gaslighting. But if y'all have any questions, the floor is open. So you can ask the question and kind of put in the chat where you're from. Put in the chat where you're from. Appreciate y'all. Thank you. Yeah, so y'all have any questions? I see there's like 3 or 4 people in here. If you let me know where you're tuning in from. What country, what state, where are you tuning in from? If you get a chance, go follow this page too, because I'd like to start going live in here a couple of times a week. And no questions. Okay. All right. Appreciate that, Renee. Florida. Oh, mirrors and memories. Okay. How you doing? Mirrors and memories. Yeah. So appreciate y'all being in here. Again, if y'all have any questions, how'd you make out, mirrors? With your did you end up having your conversation? Yeah. Yeah. How'd you make out? If you don't mind me asking. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's what you want, right? Good, 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 Mirrors. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy for you. Yeah, I love that for you. That's awesome. Taking it slow. Yeah. Yeah, it's two people. It's two people that have to work on each other or work on themselves in the process of blending together. So yeah, it can be done. I mean, I'm rooting for you. That's incredible. I'm rooting for you. Yeah. Congratulations, Renee. Congratulations. I'm happy for you. I like that for you, Renee. You're taking it slow, right? You're not yeah, 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 that's good, Renee. Yeah, you just all that stuff that I taught on TikTok for all those years, a lot of that stuff was to prepare y'all for when y'all were ready to start dating because the main thing is that person um is that person is there a sense of compatibility? That's what I would say. Is it true compatibility? That's what you have to look at. And the compatibility should be looking at all of the different areas which are most important to you. Like if your spirituality is important to you, are you compatible with that person in the area of spirituality? Are you compatible with that person with your goals as far as the goal that you have for your life? And the goal that you might have for your life is to kind of take it easy and not really get too, just kind of kick back. Are they in alignment with that? I mean, so you have to. The thing that I suggest is you want to stay in alignment with whether you and that person are compatible. And and just take your time through the process, and make sure that behavior matches words. Does this individual's behavior match their words? Are they really receptive? You know, so far so good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm glad. I'm happy, Renee. I'm happy about that. That's good. That is good. Wow. There's somebody else in here. Who else was in here? Oh, he did? Okay, that's good. That's good. Me passed your daughter's test. Okay. That's good. Wow, that's good. That's your daughter's test. Okay. Yeah, I appreciate y'all tuning in. What day maybe we'll do a Wednesday, and maybe I'll try and get back on here again Wednesday. And we'll do a couple days a week. If y'all have questions, or if you have a topic or something you're working on or you're looking at, bring it. Let's just have a conversation. I'm gonna start sharing. I gotta share it with the people that was on TikTok with. That way I can. Um, oh yeah, yeah. Who else is in here? There's a couple more people in here. What state are you from? I can't see now, but I'll see later. Hmm. Yeah, that's important. Yeah, yeah, because sometimes your family can see things that you can't see because you're so enamored by their beauty or their whatever. Oh, she's so beautiful. Yeah, whatever. But they can see, they're like, no, that one ain't right there. So, all right, y'all. So y'all have anything else y'all want to discuss? If not, again, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank each and every one of you for yeah. you know I gotta say something smart. But thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for the follows, the shares, the likes. Thank y'all for the taps. Thank y'all for being in here tonight. Um, yeah, have a good weekend. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Like I always say, I believe in you, but you gotta believe in yourself. Thanks. Talk to you soon.